Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of Self, God, and Money. I'm your host, Benir Pierre, abundance, intuition, and monetization strategist. And I am so excited about this show that we are bringing to you today. All month, we've been talking about profit planning and preparing your business for profit and abundance in 2020 and beyond. So many people have talked about how 2020 was going to be their year. And so we are bringing you the content to make sure that 2020 and beyond is your year of abundance. We've talked a lot about planning your offers and the blocks that are preventing you from actually stepping into the abundance that you deserve. But I realized that that would be a very incomplete conversation if we didn't bring in the discussion of sales. Now, I've been coaching for about 9 years now, and I find that that's the number one conversation that is so taboo when it comes to purpose-driven leaders. There's this thought that if you build it, they will come. And so we build it, but sometimes they don't come. So today we're going to talk exactly about what you need to be doing to price, package, and position your transformation for high-figure sales without being sleazy. The number one thing that I hear from a lot of my clients who are generally coaches and speakers, experts in their field, is that they want to serve, but they don't want to sell. Is that something that you've ever said or something that you can relate to? If so, drop a note in the comments and tell us, what do you find difficult about sales? What part of the process doesn't really feel aligned for you so that we can make sure that we address that? To have this conversation, I had to make sure that I brought on a very good goal friend and biz bestie, Jasmine Paige Green. So in a little bit, I will be bringing her up to help facilitate this conversation. But first, let me tell you a little bit about Jasmine and how we met. So Jasmine and I have known each other for about a year now, maybe a little longer. And she actually initially started as a client. We were working on some major shifts and some major up-leveling. She was getting ready to go full-time in her business and really step into a whole new level of impact. And so we partnered to help her make that magic happen. And even though we've worked together for a while now and she has seen some tremendous results, I've shared several times the story of how she was able to manifest over $70,000 in a month after a session that we did to help align her chakras. So even though she's had tremendous results and has seen tremendous growth in our work together, we were recently having a conversation and I realized that I still was not in alignment with really offering what she needed to go to that next level. So we're going to tell you a little bit about that conversation and you're going to get to meet Jasmine, but a little bit about her. She is a seven-figure sales and high performance coach and mentor who helps online experts generate 5 to 6 figure months, sharing their impact with the world through high-end programs and services. Since moving her business model online in 2018, she's helped several entrepreneurs achieve multiple six figures within the coaching, consulting, and service-based industry. She is passionate about helping her clients connect with the highest version of themselves. And she believes that it is through alignment that they are able to achieve their wildest dreams. So, of course, again, she is an expert in her field and someone who is a necessary voice in this conversation. So it is with great honor that I welcome Jasmine Paige Green. Hey, Jasmine.
Hey, how's it going?
I am well. How are you today?
I'm doing good. I'm so ready to dive in. I mean, I've been counting down the days. for this. Yeah.
Listen, this is such a necessary conversation. I posted a couple weeks ago about how you got my whole life together through one talk. Those words still haunt me. So before we dive into that call and how you help your clients, just tell me a little bit about what even got you into this field.
So that's a very interesting question. I always reflect on this daily, actually, because as I continue to grow and expand, it's like an unfolding. I'm always tapping into different spaces of need that my clients that they need. So back in 2017, and I'm gonna just take it all the way back. So we don't have time to start in the 90s when I first hit the scene. So we're just going to rewind back to 2017. I launched a financial services company. Basically, we sold financial products, annuities, investment stuff, the stuff that just makes you yawn. You don't really want to talk about, but you need it. And so I killed it, grew my first company to multi 7 figures. And there came a point in time to where I became unfulfilled. Like the team that I was leading, like my agents that were under me, they were doing fantastic, but that wasn't, there was always this voice, this inner prompting saying that this is not for you. Even though you're killing it, it's just not for you. So I made the tough decision to just close up shop, because I'm one of those, and you know this from our time together, I'm an extremist. So either I'm all the way in or I'm all the way out. There's no gray area. So people thought I was bananas, like crazy AF. I don't know if we can, have colorful language. So I'll just try to, keep that together. But I shut it down and I went on a journey of just like trying to figure out, what am I here to do? But on earth, our needs are, we have to have financial resources to live. So I've been following a few people like Dean Graziosi, what's the ClickFunnels guy, Russell Brunson, all the internet marketer people. And I'm thinking to myself, well, they're not hustling as hard as I was to grow my company. So I'm trying to figure out, like, what can I do to break into the online space? So now we're moving into 2018, and I remember the month, it was February. I invested in a program to teach me how to take what I knew and put it in an online course. And at that time, it was stocks, trading, just really teaching people how to take what they have and put it into the market, flip it, kind of like swing trading a little bit, not Forex, but just going in, setting up a brokerage account and selling, buying and selling, buying and selling. So I hit it off with that. I started selling that program on Instagram, and it just caught on fire. A lot of people reached out to me to do several interviews, like, hey, because I'm like the brown girl in the industry, because the finance and trading is really, white male dominated. So I caught a lot of traction because, they're like, wow, this black girl, like, she's knowing how to do this, people getting results. So I started creating like a name for myself in that space. And as I would go through different launches, it would just really feel grimy. Like I didn't feel, again, here I am back like how I did when I shut everything down in 2017. I felt the same way. But I felt like I was getting closer though. So I made the decision to I just had to stop. Again, you know me, I'm either I'm in or I'm out. Very, very drastic change, very quick. I changed quick, and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore, because people started hitting me up for like podcast interviews, blog posts, and I'm like, wow, I'm really making a name in this space, and that's not what I want to do. So I backed up completely, and it was a really, I call it a low time, because I put myself back in the working force, and I just gave myself a chance to figure out, okay, what is it that we really, really want to do here? What is it that you're meant to do? How do you want to show up? Because I know that I was always like, I'm built for impact, like creating huge impact. And so I went back to work, got with a mentor, having like just conversations with friends, and they're like, listen, you know something a lot of people don't know how to do, and that's really connect with people and sell. It was crazy because a friend of mine, she already had an online brand, and she was kind of playing around in the low end offer space and she wanted more. So she came to me and I'm thinking to myself, well, why would you come to me? But she's on the phone with people trying to sell 2K and 5K and 10K offers and it wasn't working out. So she came to me and I gave her some pointers and she closed. So she said, yo, like this whole time you're having a what the F moment when what you're supposed to be doing is right in front of you this whole entire time. Like you built and grew a company to multi-7 figures selling stuff. People, entrepreneurs, business owners need to know how to sell. So I gave her some resistance, Benir. You know how, you know me. You know
we know how you do, honey.
I'll come with some resistance. I'm gonna fight you first, and then I'm gonna come back and be like, okay, you was right. So came back around to her and was like, you know what? You're right. And I set the intention. I'll never forget. I set the intention. Okay, God, if you really want me to do this, just show me. I'm going to just take my hands off the steering wheel completely. Like, I'm not going to log in. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to try to sell anything. You just show me what I need to do. So typically people on Instagram would hit me up and say, hey, do you still have your stock market program? But the conversations shifted from, hey, can you show me how you did this? Can you show me how to grow my business like you've grown your course? Like it just shifted and I just went with it. So here I am now. I do work with my clients and we are very high end. I do believe, you know, you and I, we've had this talk too, and I'm sure we're going to get into it as we flow. But I do position them to sell high end programs. However, within the stack, I do have like, you know, low end stuff to support it. But now fast forward to today, I'm literally, we're pushing out millionaires at this point. I had a client hit me up. She's on her 1 mil year run. As of this month, it's what's today's date? The 13th or the 14th? Mm-hmm. Okay, I've been in bed all day, working all day. But she's already at like $90,000 in sales and it's halfway through the month. So she's going to literally kill it. So that's how we got here. That's how we got here, just in a quick snippet.
I love it. So you actually said a few things that I want to address, because one question that I often get is, well, how do you get paid just for being you? I have so many clients who are lawyers, who are doctors, and are wanting to replace a 6-7 figure income. And the number one thing that I teach is monetize your magic. It doesn't have to be, you know, something, and that's one thing that you and I have in common. I also worked in financial planning. For 15 years, I was in the finance industry. And very white male, old Republican dominated. And, you know, it's a little different when you come in there with all your black girl magic. Right. And so I also had that moment of reckoning where I realized that I was only helping rich people get richer, but I wasn't helping purpose-driven people create wealth. And that, you know, is how I ended up doing what I do. So we definitely have that in common. But this idea of hustling hard in something that doesn't even set your soul on fire, yes, versus being able to find flow in doing the thing that you were born to do. You know, I believe that if you were called to it, you were equipped the day you were born. Everything else, all of the certifications and degrees and all of those things are just accessories. So when it comes to how you help your clients, what are you finding is the number one issue that stops people from really standing in that space and owning their abundance?
What you just said. Literally what you just said, but I'm gonna flip it because this is how you and I got on that tent. When I got on you, right? So, oh man, this is gonna be so good. So, people are really having a hard time with owning what they bring to the table. A lot of people are like, well, you know, who's going to pay me $5,000 to do, et cetera? Who's going to pay me $10,000 to build a website? Who's going to, people are always thinking, they're downplaying themselves and they're not really taking ownership of what they truly bring to the table. So what I do with my clients is we kind of like reverse engineer their end result, because everybody has the end result. If you work with me, then at the end of the day, boom, fill in the blank, you're going to have this end result. So I always get people to understand, like, okay, so based on that, because honestly, that's just the tip of the iceberg. So based on people achieving that certain end result, what is their life going to look like? What is going to change? And when people really can tap into, wow, I am not surface level with my impact here. I truly bleed over into different aspects of my clients' lives. They can literally, push their shoulders back and hold their head up like, yo, I does this, like I do this. So they're missing that energy, and it's a real life energy. It's an energy of knowing. It's an energy of knowing that what you bring to the table is enough, that you are enough. So that is the very first like energetic bottleneck that a lot of people have, that is number one, preventing them from getting started. Some people let that stop them from even going. And number two, if they are going, they plan, and then they complain about their numbers like, man, I sure wish I could have a 6-figure business, but
ain't putting in 6-figure work, honey.
I mean, it's and I look, it's a complete energy. So that is what I feel, Benir. And again, look, I'm not one of these old cats. I'm not Tony Robbins and Oprah and all these guys, right? This is just from my experience, because when I see results in my clients is when they stop playing with themselves, when they stop like just showing up small. They shrink themselves to fit into something that's really not who they are. And I get them to take ownership of what their real, in your words, magic is. Then we start seeing some changes. So that's what I feel like it is, honestly.
Absolutely. And you just said something so powerful, this ownership of your magic. I speak with so many people who are at 7 figures, at high 6 figures, and there's this thought that they have to shrink or hide the freedom that they have, hide the joy that they're experiencing so that they don't step on toes. And for a lot of people who are wanting to get into the space of really being in business and transforming lives, that's the same block is, I know that I'm great. I know I'm an expert, but I'll let all these mediocre folks surpass me because I'm scared to share my magic. So let's talk a little bit about that, because again, this conversation is kind of what punched me in the gut. So a few weeks ago, I called Jasmine, and we were just chatting. I believe that every great leader needs to have goal friends and biz besties. And so we were chatting about, goodness, I don't even remember what the purpose of that call was. I think we were just checking in, seeing how everything was going. And Jasmine mentioned that she is on the brink of some next level transformation. She talked earlier about pricing for transformation, and the way that she is planning on supporting her clients at this next level is completely transformative. And so we were kind of chatting about what she's working on, and she asked about my in-person work. Jasmine has already worked with me, again, I mentioned earlier, for several months at this point. She has done in-person healing. And so she asked about if I had any opportunities to work together in person. And I hesitated. And I'm going to let you tell your side, because I feel like your side is going to be a little more. So I want to tell the sweet side first. So I hesitated a little bit. And so she mentioned how I already knew the results that she gets. So it wasn't a question of, is she a fit for the program? It wasn't a question of, was she going to do the work? She's like, you already know I do the work. You already know I get results. What you tripping for? What can I sign up for to do this next level of work? And it caught me in my steps, because I realized how many people don't have the opportunity to ask me, how can I do this next level of work? And I wasn't really offering. I am of the mindset, people know what I do, people know how I serve, just like I talked about earlier, this idea of service over sales. And I absolutely put out offers and make good money in my business, but I'm not one who, if you sign up for a consultation and we don't necessarily end up signing something, then I'm not going to chase you. I figure that you know where to find me. And Jasmine said something to me that kind of hurt my feelings a little bit. So, Jasmine, I'm gonna let you tell them how you got together.
Let me take a deep cleansing breath because I got triggered. And you know me, if any of my people are on, y'all already know how I am. I'm very colorful. I'm for my language. Okay, so here's my side of the story. So, Benir, this is a very, it's an extreme goal, and so I'm gonna just kind of keep it between us. But because I've already experienced her, I mean, I literally had some energy work done with Benir back in like March, and I came back like straight up 5D, like I was like in the Matrix. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm just completely effing relating to life, even my dog differently. I'm seeing colors brighter, y'all. I cannot make this up, for real. So I remember it just opened up. It's like a road opening. I'm taking this is your language, right? Because this ain't, I learned from you. So it opened up some roads for me. And many people know I lost my grandfather in July, and that literally that shook me to my core. So I know at this juncture, because we are, as my company, our infrastructure, everything is changing. I mean, my God, it's crazy. Like we getting on some Fortune 500 type stuff at this point. So I know that energetically, that if I don't, not to say that I can't give myself room to grieve, right? But I know me. And sometimes if you've been addicted to certain energy states in the past, you can kind of just stay there. And so I'm very proactive in my growth, in my up leveling, in my advancement. I don't F around when it comes to my success. So I hit up Benir and was like, look, I need you to take them hands, because you put your hand, look, it was something about, because you did, like you did something like that, something. And it was something about that. And I'm like, yo, I need that. So do I need to fly to California, or like, do I need to, like, what do we need to do? And you was like playing around. And I was like, wait a minute, something's off. Something's not right. Because in my mind, if you're doing it to me, you're doing it to other people too. And one thing about you, and I adore you, you're one of my favorite humans. And I've told you this. And you know how a parent whip a child and be like, it hurt me more than it hurt you? Baby, when we hung up that phone, I literally was a mess, because it killed me to have to put some bass in my voice with you. But my thing with you that day was, wow, you really changed the world. Do you know that your work, because you've impacted me, it bleeds over into my clients? I mean, we're millionaires at this point. So why would you not take ownership of that? Why are you not blaring from the rooftops about what I have to offer? Here we go, I'm getting triggered, but you were not convicted enough. And honestly, if I can go ahead and just say this about those that may be watching, if you're not selling, it's because you're not making offers. And if you're not making offers, it's because you're not convicted. You don't believe enough in what it is that you do and what you bring to the table. You can't tell me that I'm super passionate about helping people learn how to do yoga, but it's been 7 days since you have made an offer about somebody coming to do yoga with you or learning from you. So my thing with you that day, honestly, and this is just for everybody up in here right now, is that if you don't get clearly convicted with your work, if you really don't believe, because you first have to be sold on you before anybody else will be. And that looks like you stepping up to the bat, taking ownership of your gift that God's given you, the universe, whatever you believe in has given you, and positioning it to where people can access it. That's it. And so for you, Benir, when you did that, it was some funky shit. Cause I was like, I said, can I fly to California? Hell, I get an Airbnb. I ain't gotta be with you in Bay. I'm good. I can get somewhere to stay, whatever. And you were just it was just too much resistance. And so I just told you that, honestly, like, you're wrong. You are so wrong, especially you, because you have been called into this space where you are, I promise you, man, like, your impact after you long gone, floating around, playing in another dimension, another solar system or whatever, people on this earth will be something better because of you. And if you know that, if you really embody that and just lean into it, then not only will your impact on the world will look different, but your bank account will too, sis. We gotta stop playing.
Stop playing.
So that's what it was for me. Right. So yeah.
So I appreciate you saying that because, like she said, you have to be convicted. And when I tell y'all that convicted me, like, back in church and, they're like, you convicted, you can't even rest, and the thing that stuck with me was realizing how many people I was doing a disservice by not helping them move past their resistance. Because I realized with a lot of my leaders, it's not that you guys don't offer. It's simply that when there's any resistance, you just accept that and don't realize that with the transformational work you're doing, people have to be ready to do the work, right? And so there is something to be said of helping people move past. What Jasmine said was inviting them to participate in their transformation. So in just a second, we're going to show you exactly how to do that. However, we want to take a few comments and just see what you guys are saying, any questions that you have so far. So I see that a lot of you are loving this conversation. Brittany says it sounds like her years ago when she was in network marketing. Okay, tell us a little bit more about how you were able to break through that. Yes, Shanice said we are pushing out millionaires at this point. Doesn't it feel amazing, Jasmine, to know that the work that we do literally is helping people not only create money, because for both of us, money is just access. I always tell people money is access, money is energy. And so for both of our clients, money is not the end goal. Tell me about some of the things that your clients now have access to and the freedom that they have through this 7-figure income.
Oh gosh. So I feel like I'm about to get emotional because number one, I don't play about my people. They already know we are family. Okay. But so for example, one of my clients, she's a master coaching client. And one of the things that was very important for her is to create a real life balance. Everybody throws that word around, but she's a mom of 2. And so her objective was, I know that I'm this big boss, fill in the blank colorful word, right? But I feel guilt at the end of the day because I don't feel like I've shown up in the same light for my kids. Like, how can I create balance? So number one, we created a workflow for her. And I had to work with her just really at a spiritual level, right? I'm just like, listen, you can have it all. We grew up, even me too, it's like either you're a good wife or you're good at your job. Either you're a good mom or it's like you always have to pick. And so because now that she's doing more, she's generating more, she can bring in support such as a nanny. It's just something as simple as somebody picking the kids up from school. And not only because I'm guessing she had a nanny, but she had guilt surrounding that. But just really being able to leverage what she has and her time too. So honestly, when you get to a certain level in your mind and energetically, it's not about the money because you understand that it's everywhere. All you have to do is just literally embody what you're calling out, and that's it, right? So for her, it was more time and relationships. So that's one scenario. There's been people that they didn't have to return back to work because of COVID. They wanted to homeschool their kids. One client, her son has like asthma, and she was scared to death to send him back to school. So because now her business is generating the income it needs to, husband's like, okay, hey, you showed me. Because at first, sometimes your partners, they don't be on board until you show them. So he was like, all right, I'll bag up. So now she's able to stay at home and be at home school, I guess, with the kids. I mean, the list just goes on. It's about what the money will afford you to. You're right. It's literally about that. I always tell my clients, I mean, a lot of people come to me because they want to reach their first six. People now are saying, hey, I'm already in the high six. How can I go ahead and get over to seven? It's literally just, it's beyond that. I always tell them you have to have a reason bigger than the money, because I assure you, and people would say this to me back when I was like, so-called broke. They'll be like, well, money doesn't, make you happy. And I get that it doesn't, because you can literally have six figures in your bank account and literally internally be in pieces.
It's better to cry in a Porsche than it is to cry in a Pinto.
Look, I heard that, and I've walked these floors in tears myself in this space I live in now. But I just want people to understand, like, honestly, like what you said, the money it just allows you access. So the people that I'm working with, we're going for, how is this going to enhance my life experience? What is it going to afford me to be able to do? Do I need a nanny? Do I need high level therapy? Do I need that's what it's about. What is that impact going to look like in your life? So yeah, you're totally right about that. I could literally talk for hours.
All good. So that actually brings me to this discussion. I want to get into the how, but I realize, one, we are short on time, and I don't want, that's a discussion that is too sacred to cut short. What you just said, the money is access. I have so many clients who, the reason that they desire to hit their next six figures, to go over into seven figures, is so that they can afford, like you said, the lifestyle. And when we talk about the lifestyle, yes, some of that is luxury, because I think it's so important to normalize luxury and to normalize quality. But some of that is simple things like not having to decide, if you have to take your kid out of school because of certain things the school is teaching when you can put them in private school. Not having to decide if you can either travel. You talked about this either or thing. And I find that so many people feel like they have to choose between purpose or profit. So I actually think that it would be a good idea to maybe do a class, and let's really get into exactly what you need to do to hit your next six figures. What do you think about that?
Hell yes, absolutely. Because you said, and you're right, it's such a sacred concept. It's a subject, the concept, everything about it. It isn't fair to have to rush through it. And I think 2020 has shown us a lot of things. And it was like, hey, either you're really about this or you're really not. And so many people, and I saw someone's comment come up, asking about like, how do you get out of the scarcity mindset? I mean, my God, we don't want to rush through that topic. So I think it would be an epic idea to put on a class to specifically go through the how to, not just why, but the actual how. Yeah.
Because I find that so many of these conversations are why you need to change it, even what you need to do, but that's the constant space is, well, how do I do it? So for these people who are, wanting to understand, number one, how do I change my mindset? And let's be real, this isn't just about mindset. This conversation of scarcity mindset, money mindset, I feel that it's so surface because it's not just about how you think. It's about the subconscious patterns. It's about the beliefs. Some of it has to do with epigenetics, and there are some systemic things in place. So how do you navigate this so that you can not only build wealth? I think it's easy for anybody to manifest. I've had clients literally manifest six-figure months, and then the next month, nothing, because you have to be able to maintain it. So what mindset, what patterns, what energy do you need to maintain the millions that you manifest? How do you create the programs? You know, you talked about really packaging and positioning. So how do you actually create these programs that someone will, that it's a no-brainer offer? And when we say no-brainer, this doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be cheap. I don't believe in cheap, period. You mentioned offer stacks, and so I absolutely believe in having offer stacks that are based on the transformation. So some of them may be more low end, but how do you get people to buy your $50,000 program? What does a $50,000 program even look like?
Listen, I'm getting ready to come undone because every question that you're asking, I just want to just word vomit just everywhere. I'm literally about to. You know me. You've witnessed me in that state. Like I'm about to come undone.
That is Jazz. Let's create something and teach folks. So I want to know in the comments, is this something you guys want? Would you attend a class that teaches you exactly how to package it, exactly how to create your framework, and how to get people to purchase your high-end offers? I see Sebastian says we need a master class. Okay, so if you want this class, drop some love in the comments, let us know, and let's do it, Jasmine.
Yeah, no.
Blue heart, stop with the blue heart.
Some blue hearts in the because here's the thing, man. Like, you can have the offer, you can have the program, and you can think you know the strategy, but if you haven't learned to master embodiment, because what you said, people can easily manipulate energy. Hell, I've done it. You can easily manifest. That's not the issue, but we're talking about how do we sustain. And so there's so many moving pieces, especially for those heart-centered experts, right? For the people that are service providers, coaches, whatever, it's so many moving pieces that if you have a gap, then it's going to show up in your bank account, in your energy field, like all of that, so everything that you're saying, I mean, it's the perfect effing mashup. And let me just be very clear with you, Benir. You guys hear me say this right now to her, because I told you she's one of my favorite humans. This is why Benir is inside of my 5-figure mastermind, moving energy for my clients. That's why I have you there, because some people, one of my is it a peer? They were like, why are you doing that? People need strategy. They need funnels. We need ads. I'm like, well, we can do all of that. But if you feel deep down inside that you're not worthy, if you have those worthy wounds, the money wounds, the stories, the broken stories over and over, it's going to cause a hindrance. I'm different, and you are too, Benir, in how we scale and grow our business. We understand that congruence is key to it all. We have to be in harmony across the border. So most of you right now, if not all of you, I guarantee you, there's some block, there's something going on in your mindset that is keeping you from pushing forward. So listen, I'm ready. Okay, y'all let us know, do y'all want this? Because I will literally move some stuff in my calendar. All right, move it to get this done, because it's just a perfect synchronicity. We got the energy, we got the strategy, right? It's a perfect.
And I think that's the beautiful thing about the way that we flow, because even though we're saying a lot of the same things, I absolutely help clients with the monetization strategy, but the way that I teach it is real different than how you teach it. And absolutely. And so this idea of, like, I always look at us like pinky in the brain. So I absolutely think that this will be a really powerful discussion. You mentioned earlier the idea of embodiment and embodied abundance. And so Brittany here says that this looks like something she definitely wants, that we should actually break it down into several classes. So we can certainly discuss that. If this is something that you want, tell us exactly what part of this conversation you're struggling with. She said that she needs help with sustaining. I see some people in here who need help with actually developing their products. Some people need help with planning the profit. Some people need help with overcoming the objection. So let us know exactly where you're struggling, and we will put this masterclass together exactly for you to discuss the things that you want us to discuss. So I'm looking forward to this. I think this is going to be absolutely magic. Absolutely. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's gonna be epic. You know, that's like the word is easy for me. Like it's literally it's a beautiful, you know, like I said, marriage between the two. And something, you know, Brittany said, like, hey, you know, I feel like I have all of it, you know, outside of the sustaining. One of the things that I've learned is I continue to invest into my business, that you can't hurt refining things. There's multiple ways to skin a cat, and pathway B may have something that you missed in pathway A that'll pick up. So I'm definitely gonna put that out there. But there's so much here, because you said what goes into a $50,000 offer. You know, I've helped my clients build out 30K programs. Like, what goes into that? And most people think it's more, but it's really, really not. So I'm eager to have a conference, because I feel like if somebody in this room right now got a $30,000 sale, that would really change some stuff for them. You know,
absolutely. So I want to know in the comments, what would a $30,000 sale do for you? And not just the money. What is the impact? You know, it's so vital to be very clear on your why. So let us know in the comments what you want, how we can serve you. We're going to chat offline and get this together. And I'm really excited. Let's bless the people for the holiday season.
For real, because I mean, look, my thing is 2020 was tough. And if you made it this far, that's an indication that you can go a bit further. So in my mind, like, let's try to figure this out. What do you need? What do you need to really move forward? Have you been playing yourself? If so, then you definitely want to hop in what we're going to create. We don't know what it is yet, but we're going to put it together. So I'm ready. I'm ready.
Absolutely. If you have gotten benefit from this conversation, and I know you can't look me in the face and tell me you didn't, please share this with your biz bestie. Please subscribe. Please tell a friend. Share this video out so that we can make sure what we're creating is what you are asking for. This will not be the last that you see of Miss Jasmine Paige Green. But for those who are like, oh my goodness, I already have a crush, where can they find you?
Yeah, so if my name is hyperlinked, y'all just send me a friend request. I'm gonna just give you a heads up. Voice notes are my favorite thing in the world, and blue hearts, right? So send me a friend request. Don't be shy. I don't bite or anything like that. Just shoot me a message. Let me know what you thought about tonight, and tell me, like, what are your intentions? Where are you going? Where are you headed? Who are you? I'm really interested in building people and finding out what their vision is. So let me know all about you. Instagram, I'm Jasmine P Green. And Facebook. Let's just hang out. Yeah.
I love it. Let's just hang out. Well, we will definitely be hanging out with Jasmine again soon. And again, if you are enjoying this, please tell a friend. Shanice just said the word that we love, which is momentum. Yeah. So we will be talking about that and so much more in coming weeks. Thank you again for watching, and we will see you soon.
See you soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jasmine.
Thank you. This was epic. So good. So good.